So what's up, YouTube? This is Josh coming at you. I just got back from picking up the biggest pickup that I have ever had since I started game collecting again. Incredible amount of stuff here. The entire trunk of my car, really the entire hatchback of my car, is full of games. Stay tuned. All right, y'all, so you saw that big ass pile of stuff filling up the back of my car. That was one massive pickup. I actually had that and I had another couple other good scores over the time too. So this is actually gonna be a conglomeration of stuff that I've actually picked up probably over the past couple of months that I didn't have all together in a pickup video. Originally, I was gonna shoot the thing out in sections for that collection and show you everything I picked up, but it would have took hours to go through it all, to be honest with you. It'll probably take long enough just to go through what I got to show you guys right here. This is going to be just what I'm keeping out of these couple little things that I got. And I'll tell you the stories as I go along too. The beer we got a big can for a big pickup video right here. We got something from Something Wicked Brewing Company, not Fat Bat. They're actually right around the corner. Great breweries, cool brewer row up here in Hanover, Pennsylvania for sure. Nice little place for a pub crawl. You could hit like 4 or 5 places all within a little short walk. Pretty sweet. This one right here is the Tropical Wert the Ferk. And this one comes to us, as I said, from Something Wicked Brewing Company. It's only like the second time I've been in there, but this beer kicked ass. I had to get a big growler, a big can of it. This one comes in at 6% ABV, and it is, as you could tell from the name, a tropical IPA. And man, it is delicious. I might have to get back up there and get myself some more of this before it's gone, because this one is really good. It's really excellent. All right, let's just jump right into this because it's going to take long enough to get to it anyway. First thing I picked up was a case and a manual off of eBay to complete my little copy of Medieval. I've been trying to complete some of the ones that I have loose discs for if they're not too expensive. I'm not going like broke trying to do it, but that was one that I picked up. I think it was the loose disc that came in one of in the Loved Again media boxes. So it's cool to get that. I picked this one up at Vault Video Games up in Hanover, which is actually right across the street from the brewery that I was just talking about. This one, I had already a Japanese copy of it, but I wanted to get an NTSC copy of F-Zero X. Excellent game. Got a couple things from the thrift shop. Thrift shops have sucked lately, bad. For like a while back, like 8-9 months ago, the Goodwill thrift shops, they all stopped selling games altogether. And now they're back to selling games again, but now they're not selling games anymore for the $2 to $5 range that I was getting. They're selling them in the $8 to $10 range. I guess they've got wise to something, but nothing from any of those. These are from a local thrift that my wife hit for me. The first one we got is kind of a cheaper game. I haven't played it yet. I just told her to grab it because it was only a couple of dollars. I think it's only worth a couple of dollars, but it was one that I wanted to check out. The Island of Dr. Frankenstein on the Wii. She also got a pretty clean copy of Swing Away Golf on the PlayStation 2. This one, complete copy, like I said, super clean all around. And a copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Xbox 360. This one comes with like a little toy. Tells you about all the toys that released, I guess, around the time that the game did. Looks pretty clean. I haven't played it yet, so not sure about that one. And this one was one that I picked up at a thrift shop that I saw. It was $5, but you know what I'm saying, for a beautiful calamari. I think it's about a $15 game, so can't complain there. Not much though from thrifts anymore. They're kind of dying out in my area. I was doing so well for them for a while. Next thing we have is there is a huge community yard sale. I'll throw a picture up here to show you guys my haul for the thing, because I'm not showing you everything that I picked up, but a massive community yard sale not too far away from me. They do it once a year, and it's like 4 days of yard sale. So we went out like two of the days and just did a lot of running around. The wife and I had some fun. And this is what I picked up from there. This was a Tiger handheld. I think this one was $3 bucks, $4, I don't even know, something like that. It's the bowling one. It works. It's really clean, nice shape. So I thought that was a good grab for that amount of money. Picked this up from a young man who said he didn't enjoy it, so got that for $10, and I was happy to pay him $10 for a Switch title. It was one that I'd been wanting to pick up anyway, the Cowabunga collection. Hit another yard sale up, and the lady was like, what are you looking for? And I said, oh, video games. She didn't have any video games out. I was just browsing around. She goes, oh, I think I got some in this bag over here. So she pulls a bunch of stuff out. It was actually, I don't even have it here to show you. These are the 4 games I grabbed from it, but there were some Wii games too that had Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort. A couple of those that I'm going to sell, but these are ones I was going to keep. We got PlayStation VR Gran Turismo Sport. I picked it up because it was a VR game. World War Z. Thought that one looked kind of interesting. I liked the book, but I didn't care much for the film that came out for it. But Tomb Raider Underworld. This is one that I had, but I only had like a loose disc copy of it on the Wii, so that's why I snapped it up. This one I just wasn't sure about. I don't play many Kinect games, but it was one that I just don't see often. I see a lot of the same old when it comes to the Kinect, but Adrenaline Misfits. So it's not a valuable game, but just one that thought it might be kind of interesting to check out. There was another stop that I made, and the lady, I asked for well, actually I found a stuffed Tanuki Mario. I'll throw some B-roll up here because I don't have them right close by, but and I picked them up and I said, how much are your stuffed animals? And she said, you know, $1. I'm like, okay, that's cool, I'll take this one. And I said, you don't have any other video game stuff, do you? I said, you got this Mario here. And she goes, well, you know what, I might. So she brings out all this PlayStation stuff, like PlayStation 1 stuff, but she's like, my daughter is keeping some of this stuff, but here's what she's willing to sell. So I picked up about 5 or 6 games. There's a couple of them that I just traded off or I'm going to, but these are the ones I was going to keep out of the bunch of it, just for now, just to check them out. We got a NASCAR 98. This is the collector's edition. I don't know if this one will get any love or not. This one might go away. And this one I'm going to keep because my daughter wanted me to keep it because she wants to check it out. That You Don't Know Jack on the PlayStation 1. The only one of the bunch that looked kind of interesting to me that I want to check out is this C12 Final Resistance. Looked like this one might be kind of cool. So said it was from the creators of the Medieval series. So along with that, she said, hey, if you want to come back, I think I have more stuff. I have a Wii and some other stuff. I'm like, all right, I might swing back by before I headed home for the day. So we went and did our thing at some other spots where you saw some of the other pickups I got from. Headed back and hit her up again, and she came out with a bunch of stuff for the Wii. I'm only showing you one thing here because this is the only thing I'm keeping of it. Everything else I'm just going to turn over to Flip. But there was like Resident Evil for the Wii, Resident Evil 4 for the Wii was like, what was the other good ones? I think it had a Wii Sports in there, it had a complete in-box Wii system, a bunch of Skylanders, a bunch of stuff like that, a bunch of various like kind of games, and then it had this cool boxed Wii U system. I have a Wii U and I have a boxed Wii U, but I did not have the Super Mario 3D World variant. This is a complete in-box copy, so I thought I might keep this. You know, I'll be on the fence about it, to be honest with you. I might keep it. It's got cool graphics on both sides of it, really, with the Mario, the Wii U, and then all that good jazz there, too. So we'll see what happens with it. For now, I'm going to keep it. If I decide later on to kick it along, then we'll see what happens. And the last thing I picked up was I went to this house. They had a bunch of toys out, right? We were walking. As part of this festival, they had this big-ass car show. So they had all these classic cars along the street, and we wanted to check it out. So the wife and I and our one daughter were walking along, and we were checking out all the cars and stuff like that. And there were some yard sales up along the thing, so we would stop as we were looking at the cars and go up and see the yard sales. This one had a bunch of toys, like a bunch of modern toys and stuff, wrestling figures, and I don't know, just modern Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a bunch of stuff like that, but it was newer stuff. It wasn't vintage stuff. And they were still bringing stuff out of the house, and it was a younger woman and an even younger man. I think it was like her nephew or something like that. He was hauling stuff out. And I started to talk to him, and she's like, well, what are you looking for? I'm like, looking for video games. She goes, well, we might have some video games. She said, this is my grandparents' house, and they have all kinds of stuff in here. And that's what I was yelling at my nephew about, was to come and bring some stuff out. It's like, bring stuff out to sell. So she sends him in. She said, I think we got N64, we got Sega CD. I know we have that stuff in there. I'm like, well, I'm looking to buy. I've got cash if you want to sell something. So they went back and forth inside a few times. They didn't. He said he couldn't find what they were looking for. I left him my number. I did get one thing from him for $1. It was this. It's an older Pokemon Game Boy or Game Boy Advance bag, but kind of cool. Not positive if I'll keep this or not, but I may find somebody who would enjoy it more than I. I'm not a massive Pokemon fan, but still well worth $1. So the next thing that I had for pickups before we get into the massive haul is I picked up another lot from a different guy off of my Works Trader site, and that's actually where the big collection came from as well. But the pile that I got from him, once again, I'll throw a picture up because I'm not showing you it all. It was an N64 console, a PS3 console, some controllers for both, some miscellaneous games for the PS3, a couple of Game Boy games, and some N64 games. Kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. The funny thing is when I made the transaction with the guy and I got it all home, there was a receipt in the bag for GameStop from like 5 days before I made this transaction with him. And he took and traded in a bunch of PlayStation 3 games to GameStop. Now, a lot of them were kind of like, not really that much to him. You know, he was only getting $1 or $2 for each one of them. But there was a couple of them in here that I was like, man, he traded in the Sly collection for the PS3 and he got $8 for it. That's like a $35 game. He traded in the Ratchet & Clank into the Nexus, got $4 for that. That's one I would have liked to have. I'm not sure what that one's going for, but that's one that I'm missing from the PS3. He traded in 2 Game Boy Color games, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, 2 copies of it, and got $4 a piece for them. And in the Jack and Daxter collection, he got $4 for that. I think that's like a $20-something game. Crazy, dude. I wished I could have caught him before he traded all that stuff into them. But hey, somebody got some retro from GameStop, I guess, so that's a good thing. Here's the only boy game of the bunch that was in there that I'm going to keep. Most of the rest of them are kind of just cheesy stuff. But I got a copy here of Miss Pac-Man Special Collector's Edition. And then I've got eight Nintendo 64 games that I did not have. There was a bunch more. It's probably another dozen of them that I did have already, but in the set that I'll flip over or I'll trade. We got Supercross 2000, All-Star Baseball 2001, Madden 2001, Ken Griffey Jr., Slugfest, NHL Breakaway 99, a bunch of sports titles that I've got plenty of those to knock off the list. So a couple of them off there. We got a copy of Pokemon Puzzle League. It was one that I did not have. And a copy of Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. I think this one has a gray cart variant as well. And the best game of the bunch that I kept was Tom and Jerry Fists of Fury. So that's what we got out of that one, but not bad. I mean, once again, the little trader site where I work at came to the rescue and got some decent stuff for a decent price. So check this out. We got a little bit of everything in here. We got some handheld stuff. We've got some original Nintendo. We got a boxed Xbox. Some more hodgepodge stuff down in there, some Xbox games. There's some PS3 games over there. There's some PS4 games jammed in here somewhere. A couple guitars. There's some really killer, and I mean killer, PlayStation 1 stuff over here. A little bit of Wii U, a little bit of everything. A big mixed bag of stuff right here. We're gonna get it in the house and then I'll let you guys check it out with me. Let's just rapid fire through this, because it's going to take forever to go through it anyway. But we got a loose disc copy of Pillars of Eternity. This is a game that I'm only keeping because I have no idea what it's about, and it's one I just want to check out, and maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't. Mass Effect Andromeda Deluxe Edition. That's an upgrade to the copy the regular edition copy I had. The Order 1886. Looks like it's a horror game. I know this one's been out for quite a while. A lot of you guys out there probably already know what they're about, but definitely one that looked kind of cool. The Evil Within, this one is a PS4 copy, but I have it on PS3, so I figure I'll probably play it on PS4 though, so I'll keep it. Until Dawn, definitely one that I'm looking forward to getting into eventually. Thief, this is one that I passed up on way back in the PS3 generation, so I'm curious about it. That's why I'm holding on to it. Borderlands 3, Monster Hunter World, Shadow of War, Middle Earth, definitely one that I'm jacked about trying out. Mortal Kombat XL, Evolve. I don't know anything about this, and I remember seeing it when it came out a few years back, but never played it, so I'll hold on to it and check it out, see what it's all about. Dissidia, Final Fantasy, really nice looking steelbook copy of this. It's got the cards inside of it, still sealed, and just a good looking special edition copy. Final Fantasy 15. God, if I ever had all the time that I wanted to be able to play all these RPGs. This Gaia 5, Alliance of Vengeance. Kind of interesting that this one's in here because there's another one in here as well. Dark Souls 3, for all of us out there who want to torment ourselves with getting killed over and over and over again. This is one that I thought was really cool. We got the Mega Man Legacy Collection. This one has all 6 of the original Mega Man releases that came out on the NES, so I thought that was really neat. Dragon Quest Heroes 2, Planescape Torment, and Icewind. Once again, another game that I have no idea what it's about. I'm assuming it's some kind of dungeon crawler style of game, but it's like a double pack, so kind of cool. We'll see what it's all about. If we like it, we'll keep it. If not, it'll be somebody else's. Tales of Berseria, another one, and another RPG. And then we got this one right here, which was really, really cool to pick up. The Marvel Pinball Epic Collection, Volume 1. I think this game goes for like 20, 25 bucks last I looked at it anyway, but really cool grab right there. Moving on to the PS3. Love collecting for the system. We got Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock, because we also got, and I'll overlay it here, 2 wireless guitars with the dongles as well for it. And my daughter is a massive Guitar Hero fan, so that was definitely one that we wanted to keep in the collection. Zone of the Enders HD collection. Don't know much about this one. I've seen other people talk about it though. It's some kind of a mech fighting game, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free. Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 on the PS3. Very cool to grab those. Love the first game. Want to play the second one eventually. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Heavenly Sword. This is one of the old school PlayStation 3 titles that I just never have had a chance to play, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know it's a God of War style of game, so. We got Fear. I have not come across, and like I said, I've got a big PS3 collection, but I have not come across any of these games until this one, so I still need to pick up the second and third one, but this is definitely one that's going up on my list soon to play, because I know it's got kind of horror elements, but it's like a first-person shooter as well, so it looks like this might be pretty badass. Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns and Final Fantasy 13 2. I'll keep them for now, but I don't know if I'll ever play them, to be totally honest with you, because I hated the first Final Fantasy 13, but who knows, maybe I need to go back and give it some love. You guys let me know. White Knight Chronicles 1 and White Knight Chronicles 2. Move into some pretty cool looking JRPGs for the system. We got Record of Agarest War 0, Eternal Sonata, which I've heard so many awesome things about. Definitely one that I want to check out because I've heard such good things about it. And here's another one, Resonance of Fate, that I've heard some amazing stuff about as well. So definitely stoked to add those to the collection and get around to playing them. And we've got Tales of Xillia. I haven't opened up all these games, but all of them almost all of them are complete. Not all of them, but there's a couple. Like this one I know is light. This one doesn't have the manual. Dark Souls 2. But this one was too freaking cool. This Steelbook limited edition Dark Souls game. I mean, that's just tight. Wish I could show you a little better. Maybe I'll do some B-roll instead of just me fumbling through opening it up. But it's just a beautiful copy of the game in general in this beautiful case, and it's got an art book inside of it and everything too. So definitely cool one to add to the collection. I'll probably just pop some B-roll in here though instead of me fumbling along with it. So moving on from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 2. Not a lot of games I'm going to keep, but there was quite a few games in this lot for the PlayStation 2. We had this controller that I'm going to keep. This is it's like a smoke gray variant of the PS2 controllers. I already had this one right here, which was the see-through blue one, but I'm going to keep the gray one. It also had 3 other controllers, one generic PS2 controller, and then 2 of the just standard black controllers. They're always nice to have spares of. I know I've also had a lot of people come across when I've been selling systems and things of that nature, asking if I had spare controllers for PlayStation 2. I guess they're getting a little harder to find out there. Some of the games that I'm keeping though from the lot, we have a sealed copy here of Genji Dawn of the Samurai. Not any value to it being a sealed copy so much, but it's just one that I've never played, and you know it's brand new, so definitely looks kind of like a cool game. We have a copy of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance here. This one, it's a greatest hits copy. This one is, I'm keeping it because I found one of these at the Thrift a couple of months ago, but the copy was like cut on the side and it didn't have the manual. So this one had the full-on complete copy. So this was definitely the cleaner one. I've actually already sold off the other one. I had a little yard sale and sold the other copy somebody picked up. We got Xenosaga Episode 1. One that I am not familiar with, but looks like it might be kind of a cool game to pick up and play. And we got a copy of Castlevania Lament of Innocence, the movie stars. I think he told me this was a rental place down near where he was from. So see, it's got the original receipt that they paid for it. They paid $6.30 for this when it released, and it's got the little label on it as well. But definitely a Castlevania game for the PS2 that I did not have. So Very cool. Then we got a bunch of fighting games. Now, I'm self-professed not a massive fan of fighting games because I'm not any good at them. But we'll keep them, check them out, see if we like them. Maybe my son would care to play them with me a little bit. We got a nice, super clean copy of Tekken 4. We've got the greatest hits copy of Tekken 5. These are all complete as well. We got DOA 2 Hardcore. And we got a couple of them that are a little bit more of bangers for the system. We got Capcom versus SNK 2. This one right here is, I think this is like a $50 game. So definitely be cool to check out. Like, you know, it's got a lot of the old Street Fighter characters and stuff. So, and then we got a real banger here with Marvel versus Capcom 2. I know this game's going for well over $100. Last I looked, it was like $130 or something. So for the price, I couldn't pass it up. Really, this whole collection for the price of it. But so you got to figure everything you see here, I paid less than half of price charting for, so that's not bad at all. Moving on from the PlayStation 2, staying in the same generation now, we have the original Xbox, and we have just a couple of games that we're going to keep here for it. We've got a copy of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. This is one that I had picked up on the PlayStation 2 not that long ago, but I needed it to complete my trilogy of these games, right? And this one right here, I had the other two on the Xbox already, so definitely wanted to keep this one and shuffle the PlayStation one along. Copy here of Soul Calibur 2 as well. And then the last game for the original Xbox is a copy of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not Chaos Bleeds, it's the original one, but definitely a pretty cool only on Xbox title to check out. So then we also had 4 of these bad boys right here, and they are super clean. These huge Duke controllers, these things alone go for 20. These were one of the extra things that he threw in that he did not even have on his list, so it was like I was kind of surprised because I know these go for like $15-20 a piece if you just go to sell them, so at least as far as like I'm aware of. And then we also got this big old box here of the original Xbox. We'll show some B-roll of it, but it was complete in box, and I did not have a boxed Xbox because years back I had sold my original Xbox with the box, and when I was changing up systems and stuff like that. So definitely pretty cool to get that. Like I said, it's in pretty decent shape, works fine, has the Duke controller inside of the box as well. One Wii game I'm keeping out of all of it, and we got Castlevania Judgment. Now there wasn't a ton of Wii games in this collection. There was maybe only 5 or 6. So it had a Resident Evil 4, had a Metroid Prime 3, and a couple of other reasonably decent games in the box in the lot. But this was the only one that I didn't have already, and I thought it would be kind of neat. I'm pretty sure it's a fighting game, a Castlevania fighting game on the Wii. Interesting, right? But definitely one I didn't have, so we're holding on to that one. Had 2 Switch games in the bundle. These were also ones that I didn't know he was throwing in, but he did. So we got Disgaea 5 complete. Like I said, we had the Disgaea 5 on PlayStation 4, but now we have it on the Switch. So very interesting. And Bravely Default 2. This is one that I've been looking to pick up for a while anyhow. So I was very excited to see him throw that one in. And then 2 Wii U games that were, one was on the list, the other wasn't, but Bayonetta 2, this was one that he had said he was going to send along. I did not have it already, so definitely stoked. I know there's 2 copies of this game. If you're going for a complete Wii U set, there's Bayonetta 2, and then there's another one that I think it has like a label or something up here that says Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 1 included or something like that. So it's a cover variant. This one I was like really excited there to get to add this one to the Wii U collection. This is one that I've been wanting to find. I found a while back the empty case at a thrift store. Someone had lifted the disc out of it, but I don't need to worry about that now because I got a nice, beautifully clean copy of Paper Mario Color Splash. So 2 more for the Wii U collection. I'm not going for a full set of that. I'm just going for games that I want to play. So very cool to get those. Moving into the handheld stuff, we got a couple Game Gear games here. There was 4 of them in the lot. One was Sonic 2, which everybody and their brother who has a Game Gear has Sonic 2 already. But we got Sonic Chaos. We've got Pac-Man, and then we've got Hook. And these 2 games are pretty inexpensive games to pick up. But the Hook game, I think, is about a $20 Game Gear game. So definitely interesting. I checked it out a little bit already. I'm not positive if it's my bag or not, but I'll keep it for now. Might check it out again, run through it. So some loose DS games in the bunch that I'm holding on to. We got Heroes of Mana and Children of Mana, both for the DS. We have a couple of complete DS and 3DS games here as well. We got Spectral Force Genesis, Ignition game. You've got Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Ring of Fates. We've got Luminous Arc, an Atlas game, some RPGs. This one looked kind of neat too. This is for the 3DS. We got Puzzle and Dragons Super Mario Edition. It looks like it's a mix of like a puzzle game and like an adventure style of game. So kind of neat. Definitely one. This was one that he didn't have on the list either, so it was just a bonus. And then we have a few Game Boy Advance games here. We have Final Fantasy IV Advance, Final Fantasy Tactics, if I could get my camera to focus, Final Fantasy VI, and we've got Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. I had 2 copies of this in the lot. I actually traded one of these already to one of the fellas in the Discord group, but I didn't need 2 copies of it, but very, very, very cool to be able to come across a couple of them and have one of them to trade as well. That was it for the handheld stuff. Let's go over here to a couple of Genesis games that were in the bundle. Once again, there was a Genesis console and probably about 20 games in this bundle, but these are the only 2 games that I'm keeping out of that. We've got Batman Returns, very cool Batman game, and we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 3. There were 2 that I didn't have for the Genesis, so we are going to add those to the collection. Of all that stuff, and there was an original Nintendo and probably 25 or 30 Nintendo games in the bundle, and there was only 1 game that I did not have already. We got a copy here of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, a Koi game. Look at that right there on the back. $1.99 used from GameStop at one point in the past. Boy, wish we could go back to those days, right, folks? Then we had 2 N64 games. There was an N64 console and a bunch of freaking games in the bundle, probably about 20 games there as well, but there was no other games than these 2 that I needed for the collection. We got NFL Blitz 2001 and Killer Instinct Gold. So we got to add 2 more to the N64 set from this pickup as well. A couple of light gun games, Area 51 and Point Blank. I've heard a lot of people talk well of actually both of these. A couple people say this is Area 51 is like a guilty pleasure type of game for them, but definitely pretty cool. I do have a light gun for the PlayStation 1, so that's pretty cool. I definitely want to spend a little bit of time with them. These are 2 I'm not really positive. I'm keeping them for now, but Monster Rancher 1 and Monster Rancher 2. I'm not a Pokemon style game player so much, and I'm pretty sure that these are similar vein. If they're not, let me know for sure. I haven't had a chance to play all these yet. I've only been able to test some of them, some of the more salty games in the bunch. So here's a bunch of them though that were missing the front cover manuals. They do have the box art and all. We have X-Men, Marvel Comics, X-Men versus Street Fighter. Hopefully I'll be able to find a manual for it to complete it, but this is a little bit of a banger of a game right there. Tecmo's Deception. This is sort of like a horror game, at least from what I was reading about it, so it's definitely one that I thought looked like it might be kind of cool. Like I said, all of these I need manuals for them though. Mega Man Legends. Very, very cool. Bloody Roar 1 and Bloody Roar 2. I don't know where they came across a lot of the games, if they were like this or if they actually lost the manuals to these or not, but like I said, they've all got the cover art and the discs, but they just don't have the manuals. This one's a disc only though. This is Jade Cocoon. This is a RPG, so definitely cool. And Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I need to find a manual for sure to complete this one, but I was pretty excited to find this. There's actually 2 copies of this in this collection. There was this one, and then there's just a plain loose disc greatest hits copy of it as well. Both of them worked fine. Tested them out, so cool to have it in the collection. They're definitely one that I want to play, so I'm glad to have it. I'll find a manual if I can find one for a reasonable price. So far, been striking out on finding a reasonable price for them. Really cool shooter for the PlayStation 1, G Darius. This one was one of the ones that was complete. That was the only problem with the PS1. Like probably about half of the games, maybe a third to a half of the games were missing the manual. So, but this one, super clean, really cool game. Another sort of, I guess, an RPG, sort of kind of Pokemon style of game too. At least this is what the guy told me. I haven't played it myself, but basically this is Dragon Seeds. You raise dragons and you fight them in an arena. So definitely interesting. Complete copy. Final Fantasy Tactics, did not have this in the collection yet for the PlayStation 1. And Final Fantasy Anthology did not have this one as well. This one I think is missing the manual though. But Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI. So that's pretty cool to be able to have a copy of Final Fantasy V to play. So a couple of these were duplicates that we had already in the collection. We already had a copy of Breath of Fire 3 and Xenogears, but these are reasonably priced games and they're good for trade bait. So if anybody's looking to make a trade for some PlayStation 1 RPGs, let me know. Bunch more of them though that I did not have already in the collection, like Saga Frontier 2. Nice copy here, complete copy of this one as well. Star Ocean, the second story. They made so many cool RPGs for the PlayStation 1. Cartia, the Word of Fate, an Atlas title. Had never heard of that one, but like I said, PlayStation 1 is kind of a new one for me to collect for. So we've got a copy here of Vandal Hearts, and you see it was a pre-played at $14.99 at some point. Vagrant Story, another great one to grab for the RPGs. Grandia. Suikoden, beautiful copy here of this. And I actually have a copy of a loose disc copy of the game as well to trade off. This one was missing the manual, but definitely a nice little grab. Tales of Destiny has this little thing inside of it, but it didn't have the manual, unfortunately. And then the last three games for the PlayStation 1, we have Parasite Eve and Parasite Eve 2, which somebody paid $12.99 for, used at GameStop. Lucky bastards. And then the banger of the bunch for the PlayStation 1, the absolute banger, was a loose disc. And we got The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. So it was a Hollywood Video rental, as you can see from the label that's on the disc. It does work though. I popped it in and played it, checked it out a little bit. So definitely stoked to get a chance to play this, and I'll play it, and if I like it, I might keep it, might try to complete it. If not, I will find a home for it. And all we got left here is some Super Nintendo stuff. We got about 10 games for the Super Nintendo that we're keeping here. We've got Super Pinball, Behind the Mask, I think is what this one is. Yeah. I like some of the video pinball games, and I had another one already for the Super Nintendo, so I decided to keep that one. Copy of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This was two copies of this actually in the collection when I bought it, but I kept the better of the two and traded one of them in. Super Godzilla. I plopped this one in and played it. I plopped it in, right? I plopped it in and played it. Wasn't impressed with it. I'll give it another go, spend a little bit more time with it and see, and if not, this one may go on its way as well. Copy of Draken. This is another one that I'd never played, so I held on to it. Not sure, I've heard some people say it's not really a very good game, so that one might go as well. Tetris Attack. This is a fun spin on Tetris. I actually had this already on Game Boy or Game Boy Color, whatever it came out on there, but definitely pretty cool. Wario's Woods. I wish this one would have been the copy that released on the original Nintendo, because I still need that one, and that one's a little bit more salty. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I had the original Street Fighter already, but I figured the Turbo edition. Nice little addition. We got Super Bomberman. I had Super Bomberman 2 already. This one actually had a label, a sticker half peeled off on the label already. I was able to gently get it lifted off of there so I could save the label without messing it up, but very, very cool. Another Kirby game for the Super Nintendo collection. We got Kirby's Dream Course. And we have three more here. We have Big Sky Troopers. This looked like an interesting little game when I popped it in and was checking it out. I want to spend some time with this one for sure. The two best games in the lot, there was actually 3 games that were excellent, over $100 titles. One of them I showed off, the Imperium game that was on CRT Saturday Matinee, but also traded that one off already to 123 Gamer Man so he could get it in his complete set for Super Nintendo. We got Robo Trek. This one is a bit of a banger of a game for sure as well. This one's well over $100 for the Super Nintendo, an Enix title. I don't think it sold very well. I think that's the reason why that one is has a little bit more value to it. And then the banger probably of the entire bunch is a authentic copy of Chrono Trigger. Between this one and the Misadventures of Tron Bonne, it's probably these 2 games that are probably the 2 absolute best games in all of this. So definitely excited to finally get a copy of this and add it to the Super Nintendo collection and get a chance to play it on the original hardware. So like I said, a ton of stuff, some really good games, some bangers, absolute bangers in that bunch as well. That's the reason that I pulled the trigger on it. Had to put a little bit of money out to come across it. We're able to slowly recoup some of that money back by flipping some of the things off of it. Probably not going to recoup all of it because the simple fact is there was some great games that I'm holding on to for now anyway. Really cool to finally be able to get a copy of Chrono Trigger for sure. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. It was a big ride, a long ride. I know that. If you hung in this long, I really appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, everybody, y'all out there, take care of yourself. Cheers.